Good morning and welcome to another Holiday Make It session at the Zula B. Wiley Library. This morning we're going to discuss and demonstrate how to wrap a beautiful package. I think that if you're going to give someone a gift and you spent money on it, you want to make it look presentable. It's like going to the party and you want to look your best. So you want your gifts to look their best under the tree. So therefore we're going to talk about wrapping the gifts. So first thing you want to do is make sure you have all of your supplies. We need tape, scissors, and we need little gadgets to go on the gifts if you'd like, just to make it decorative. Of course, a box, and then we have ribbon and paper and the tissue. And so you decide on the paper first, because if you decide on the paper first, then you can get your other little gadgets to kind of blend in and match. Coordinate, it's like your shoes and your purse. Everything should match and line up just like it needs to. So that's how you treat your Christmas presents that you wrap. You can put it in a bag and make it look really decorative and everything. But I think the passion is to be able to embrace the art of gift wrapping, and that's what this is about. So the first thing you do is to get your box prepared. You have the bottom and then you have the top part. So with the bottom, you want to make sure that you line it with paper. And you just put a nice little fold in the middle of it if it's too long, or if it's short, you can add another piece to it. And then of course you put your object in, whatever you're putting in is a shirt or whatever socks. You put it in, you fold your tissue over. Take a piece of tape or a little gadget. You can use a little seal and tape it so that it will stay and look nice when you open it up. And then you put your top on. Okay, so here we have our box already. It's kind of decorated. And then I just put the two together to make the paper look the same as the box, because that's exactly what you want to do. You want it to appear that this is the box, but you actually wrapped it. So and you want it to look neat. So that's why we chose that, to help you to understand that when you're wrapping a gift, you want it to look as neat and beautiful and appealing as possible. So the first thing you do, you have to look at the design in the paper. You want to make sure that the decoration is going in the same direction on each side of the box. So you choose, that's how you cut it. So this is going either way, any way you can choose this. So we're going to just go ahead and cut it according to the design of the box. Put your box in, measure your ends to where they come up to here on your box. And of course you're going to do some cutting, so you want to make sure you have some nice sharp scissors. And then for me, I just fold it up to see where I need to cut it. And you can buy the paper also that has the lines on it, which is very beneficial to you making straight lines. And at this point, it's important to make sure it's big enough. But as far as cutting the edges, you want to make sure you're covering most of them anyway. So you want to make sure that you're cutting the length more so where it can fit the package. You cut it, and then you may have to cut it again because this is a wide piece of paper. Then you measure it from this side. Make sure it fits the edges like this, just barely on the edge. And then you fold it up like this, and you crease it. When you crease it, you know now where to cut it. You take your scissors and cut it again, just above the line. And so you're measuring at the same time that you are folding your paper and wrapping your gift. We'll save this for later or another gift. Then you put it together. Sometimes paper tear, and it's kind of hard to get it going. So you want to be as careful as you possibly can with the paper you have. You even your edges up. Make sure that everything is even and neat. And you're pressing from side to side to get it as tight as possible, so it will look like it's just a box, not so much as paper on the box. And then once you get it lined up, you want to put your tape there first. Put your tape here. And you can also use the double-sided tape, which makes the box look so much neater without the tape being on the outside. Then you make sure that you put your hands here and make sure that it's even on both ends, so that when you wrap it up, it will come up on the both ends just like it needs to. Okay, so then we're going to take one end with our fingers and press it in. Press it in real nice and neatly and tight and send it out to each end. And then you do the top the same way. Now you have sharp edges for this, and you fold it down. And when you're folding it down, you may have to be careful that you're pushing on the box. Make sure you're pushing it back because you want to make sure that these ends are the same. And you have nice creases here. Take your tape, push it, press it down. And you want to tape everything because you want it to look nice and neat. Smooth your edges. The double-sided tape makes it look really nice. So if you choose to use that, be very careful. When you place it there, that's where it will stay. So be very careful when you're using the double-sided tape. So you're pressing the edges, getting it as neat as possible. This is going to be the gift that they don't want to open, but yet they do. Because it's so beautiful, they're going to want it to stay wrapped under the tree. And so you want to make that package gorgeous while you're working with it. Okay, and see here we're making that last fold, which goes up just about the same height as the other one. And so see, it's all tight and neat, and that's what you want. And then when you get it all tight and neat, you make sure that everything is, you don't have any cut edges or torn edges around the sides. Now we're ready to choose our ribbon. We're going to choose ribbon that matches the theme on the box, on the paper. And then you look at your flowers and see which direction they're going. They may be going this way. You want to make sure that the gadget that you're using heads that same way. If the flowers or gadget is, the flower on the paper is going this way, or the object on the paper is going this way, you want your little gadget that you use to go that same way instead of opposite. Okay, so here we have, and so today we're going to use some berries. There are hollies on here, but then we want to accentuate the berries that are in the leaves in the background. So we're going to pull those out to the front, and you'll be able to see that as we are wrapping. So the first thing we're going to do now is to get our ribbon. There are several ways you can do your ribbon. You can use large ribbon or you can use small ribbon. You can use twine. You can use almost anything to make a bow. It just depends on how elaborate you want it, or how fabulous, or how, you want to make it looking rustic. You can use burlap or anything like that. Okay, so today we're going to do it. You can do a ribbon this way to the side, or you can do it straight up the middle. And for the sake of the gadget that we're using, we're going to do it straight up the middle so it can look accentuated and that it has room to run as if it's alive. So you're cutting your ribbon because you want to raise it up this high, and then it'll lap over the box like this. You got it to where it's like this, but you want to make sure you have enough room to make the little legs that the bow needs. And I'll explain the little legs in a minute. Okay, so in tying the bow, gather your ribbon up in one hand, press, gather it up in the other hand, press, bring it under. Make it as tight as possible. Make it as tight as possible because the paper is on there and it needs that help. Then you take your finger, pull it together. It's really tight. You take one finger and you're going to wrap it around the other, and you bring it down like this because your gadget is going to go that way and you want everything to help it to hold in place. And then you tie that fabulous knot, and it's tight, all nice and tight. And then at this point, this is where you take your little gadget and you stick your gadget in here somewhere, through this little tight bow that you've made, tight knot that you've made. You stick your gadget in there. You'll find a little spot for it. And then once you press it in, you'll be able to leave it there for the duration of the gift while you're making your, I've gotten the gadget in there. All right. Okay, then next, after you get your gadget in, it's all nice and snug, then you take the rest of the ribbon that you're going to make your bow out of. Now the bow needs the same kind of legs that this has, that your ribbon has, because you're going to use all of these to help beautify the package. So You take the ribbon and you're gathering it between your two fingers, pushing, 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 and you keep pushing until you get the entire bow in there, ribbon in there. Then you bring it under, and you do the same thing with those same two fingers, 3 fingers. There, you got one loop. You take it, fold it over again, and you're going to do the same thing. Everything is going to be gathered up in your 2 fingers that you have sitting on top. And each time you do it, you can make the bow as large as you want or as small as you want. Or for this package, it needs a pretty medium-sized bow because it's a medium-sized package. And if it's a small package, you want to give it a smaller bow so that you'll be able to see the paper as well. So I'm going to make 4 little bows here. And if they're not even when you're making them, don't worry about it because you can always pull and adjust when you put it on the package. So I'm going to cut this to make it be the same length as the other one. Okay, now here we go. So we're going to wrap the bow, put the bow in here, and I have this here in my finger. We're going to wrap it around, put it under here, under there, and now you're ready to let go of the bow and tie. So you have your bows and you have your gadget. Then you want to make sure you're moving everything to where it's all nice and neat. After you've done that, you want to take all 4 legs. Remember, you have 4 legs, so you want to make sure that you're using all 4 of them. And so this one is always going to be shorter because you used it twice, once to tie the bow and then the other time to tie the top one. So this one is going to be the shortest. So what you do is make sure that all of them is as short as the shortest one. So you take it, fold it, put them all together, fold it, and then your scissors, you take it and you make a V shape. And there's several different shapes that you can use. You can use zigzag scissors and get another decoration. Or you can use the crown kind where it'll make just a little shape. And you have these when you finish. You have your package decoration. And there we have it. And then so you make sure that all of these are out looking beautiful and showing your package off. Because if it's not showing your package off, then it's just going to sit under the tree. But you want yours to look the best. And so however you want to do these, if you want to keep them up, if you want to lay them down, it's up to you, however you want to do this. And the ribbon sometimes will show you which direction it wants to go in. So, yeah, and we're going to cut these just a little bit more so you can take that out. Never let your package go out unfinished because it represents you and it tells a lot about you. So this is your finished product. There are seals you could use, like little stamps you could put on the bottom of them to make them fabulous for the kids or for an adult if they love a favorite character or something. You identify it and you personalize it for the person that you're giving it to. I hope this was helpful to you. Try it out. It's a lot of fun.